We're making regular size keto cinnamon rolls with clean keto flour. Let's go. Okay, we just did mini keto cinnamon rolls, but you asked me for regular size and I'm here to deliver. In this recipe, there is no yeast. You just throw everything into a bowl and you bake. So I feel like it's a really simple and easy recipe. For this recipe, I'm using full CK almond, which I've heard that a lot of you prefer baking without the chicken flour and just using full-on CK almond flour. Now, this recipe is really plain. I haven't even added any extract. The reason is I want you to put your own spin on it. Would you prefer some pumpkin spice with pumpkin puree added? Would you prefer toasted pecans or walnuts? I mean, gosh, it's endless, the possibilities, isn't it? Anyway, there's lots more information coming. The nutritional information and your shopping list is listed in the description box, and let's get into this recipe now. First up, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius and grease and line your baking tray. To a bowl, add 1 cup of CK flour. Now, in this recipe, I am using a CK almond flour blend with no chicken flour, simply because a lot of you decided that you would prefer baked goods with the almond flour blend. So I'm trying it out today. Next is a 1/4 cup of granulated sweetener. And you can see that we're working the dry ingredients first. A teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum so your dough can come together, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and that's it for the dry ingredients. And now we're going to mix this all together, get that xanthan gum fully incorporated. Time for wet ingredients. Drop in an egg, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. If you have olive oil only, use that. And 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Now, if you're using half almond and half chicken CK flour, you're going to need to add a 1/4 cup of water extra into this dough. But for me, because I'm using full-on CK almond flour, I'm going to mix my dough up first. If it's dry, I'm going to add a tablespoon of water at a time. And as I'm mixing the dough, I can tell that the dough is coming together nicely, and I'm actually not going to use any water at all. And look at this. It's not that sticky. It's beautiful. Very impressed. We're going to roll this dough out now, but when we roll it out, if you can imagine a long rectangle shape. So I'm just going to shape it a little bit like that. I've rolled mine out and it measures 13 by 5 inches or 33 centimeter by 13 centimeters. And I highly recommend this rolling pin. It takes the guesswork out of getting your dough to a 1/4 of an inch thickness, which mine is. Come take a closer look and see how beautiful this dough has turned out. When you're shaping the dough, you want to bring it in. It will have cracking on the side, but it's very flexible. When you tidy it up, it just works out the cracks really great. Go ahead and flatten the end of this piece here away from you. And this is so the edges of your cinnamon rolls can be tucked in and won't come away from the roll. I'm using about a tablespoon of softened butter just to spread and coat the surface of my dough. And this is so your cinnamon sweetener can stick to your dough. I'm using golden sweetener here. It's a tablespoon and a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Mix to combine. And spread all over your dough. It's a generous amount, so use less if you want to. I'm just going to secure the cinnamon sweetener into the dough by pressing it in. Using the paper, turn the dough onto itself like that by pressing down, and you can see I'm creating some tension here. And look, the dough is standing up quite nicely, and then you just want to keep going. Time to cut it. And first in half, and then we're going to cut that in half as well. You can either position your string like that and then roll it onto it, or just lift it. It's not really sticky at all. Place onto your lined baking sheet and give them some room to breathe. Cover with foil. And now we're going to bake it for 20 minutes. Like I said before, your oven should be preheated to 350 Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius. Ta-da! Okay, you do have to let them cool, and while they're cooling, let's make the frosting. I'm going to show you a very simple recipe. In the previous video where I made mini cinnamon rolls, I showed you how to achieve a white, thicker frosting. Now I'm going to show you how to achieve the frosting that's a little bit opaque and a bit more runny. It's simply sweetener and water. Add 2 tablespoons to a bowl of your powdered sweetener. And depending on how thick you want your frosting to be, add a half teaspoon of water at a time. And you'll see it'll start out very thick, but you can just keep adding more and more water until you're happy with it. I achieved this consistency with 1.5 teaspoons of water to 2 tablespoons of powdered sweetener. Okay, this one was made with half CK chicken flour and half almond, and this is the full almond. I just love them both. Obviously, that one looks bigger because I had a much longer rectangle when I was rolling out, and really that's the difference in achieving a bigger or medium sized cinnamon roll. Okay, now I'm just gonna spread my frosting. I hope I have delivered and stood up to the challenge of providing you with a recipe for regular size cinnamon rolls. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and be well. actually. Bye, bye-bye.